Chapter 1, Assignment Number 7, Take 352,000. My equipment has not been cooperating today. Hopefully things go well this 4,000th time I've tried it. We're going to be solving density problems using the formula density equals mass divided by volume. Mr. Blair here. Last week's video was a huge success. We had over 1 million new subscribers to our channel. Not really, but it sounds official, doesn't it? Let's go for 100 million this week. 100 million new subscribers. Comment below, like below, etc. below to celebrate our 100 fake million new subscribers last week. Let's have a little free merch giveaway. That's right, Mr. Blair merch. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Today's free merch blowout ABC gum. That stands for already been chewed gum. Just reach under your desk and grab yourself a piece of that rock hard 3 or 4 or 5-year-old gum and enjoy if you'd like to. Have some of that free merch blowout today only. Already been chewed gum. Also, please be on your best behavior for Mrs. Kuntzman. She is a friend of mine. She is someone that helped me when I was a new teacher there at Franklin High School. I think I told most of you the room that we're in was her room for a long, long time there at Franklin High School. So please be on your best behavior for her. We want her to come back and help out whenever I can't be there. So let's go ahead and get started. See if it'll work this time. I've been having trouble getting my ink to show up. What is density? Density measures how much matter is in a specified volume. And what we want to work on today, let's try this ink out again. We want to, there's some ink, I like it. We want to be able to use that formula, density equals mass divided by volume. We'll be given different experimental scenarios and we will solve for one of these 3 variables. There's 3 things. You'll be given 2 of the 3 and you'll solve a basic, easy, simple algebra problem for the one that's missing. You'll identify the 2 that you're given and solve for the one that you don't know. So let's get started on that. You should have the assignment number 7 paper out in front of you. And this is what number 1 looks like. So number 1, the way we're going to solve all these problems forever, it's not an option, is to set your problems up like this. We'll do it in chemistry a couple years from now. You'll do it in physics class with Mr. Evans when you get to physics. So make 3 sections underneath every one of these problems. Set it up to look just like what I've drawn there. I've got to get myself resituated because my pen only works today a certain way. So I'm going to try to do the best I can with it. All right, here we go. We're going to read the problem. And in this first section here, you're going to list what you're given and what you don't know. So it says a block of aluminum occupies a volume of 15 milliliters. So that's the first thing we know. It says V equals 15.0 milliliters. I apologize for my handwriting, but the way I have to hold my screen to get my pen to work, it makes it a little hard to do. And it has a mass of 40.5. So our mass equals 40.5 grams. And it asks you, what is the density? Density equals, I don't know. So that's what we're trying to solve for here. We're trying to solve for density. You notice up at the top of the screen, top of your paper, you've got a couple of triangles up there. It looks something like this. You've got a triangle that looks like this. And those are the 3 variables that'll be in every one of these problems. You've got a D for density, you've got an M for mass, and you've got a V for volume. And the way this triangle is set up, density equals mass divided by volume. So whatever you're trying to solve for something, you cover up the thing we're trying to solve for, like density, cover it up on that triangle. I'll color it in here. And what are you left with? D equals whatever you're left with. And I'm going to switch colors here. We're left with M divided by V. That's how we get our formula. D equals M divided by V. We use our triangle. Now you substitute in those numbers. M is 40.5, so M goes on top, 40.5 grams. And V goes on the bottom. V is 15.0 milliliters. Then we use our calculators to divide that out, and we get 2.7. Over in this section, what you're going to put in this section, this is our third section. Over in this section, you'll put your final answer with the correct unit. So over here, you're going to write 2.7. And we solve for density. What is density? Density is mass. So the mass unit, grams. And here it is, grams divided by milliliters. So grams divided by milliliters, or grams per milliliter. Remember that we've got our two sections here. This is our first section. We're going to list what we're given and what we don't know. Our second section, we always write our formula and then substitute in our numbers. And in the third section, we write our final answer with the unit and we circle it. There's our final answer. That's why we're going to set up every single problem this year. Every word problem has to be done this way. You'll get a certain amount of points for this section, a certain amount of points for this section, and a certain amount of points for this section. For example, 6 points possible in this. If all you did was jam those numbers in a calculator and write down 2.7, you would get 1 out of 6. You would fail life if you did that, even if you had the right number. I need to see all of the things that you're given here. I need to see a formula and your work and a final answer with the unit. That's what we need to have. That's what we're practicing. Remember, this is a video at any time. If you need to back up, pause it, I'm going too fast, etc., do that. And if you're chugging right along, then keep on chugging along. And remember, Mrs. Kunzman knows how to do this. If at any time you want to stop and ask her, you can. But there will be no excuses when I get back tomorrow. You have this video, you have the rest of the things on the internet, you have other classmates, and you have Mrs. Kunzman. The only reason why you can't figure this out is you choose not to. So don't tell yourself you can't do it. Don't tell yourself that I'm going to tell the teacher I'm confused, I didn't understand. That's not an option. Get unconfused. Figure it out. We've got several more practice problems I'm going to talk you through. You have classmates who are going to get this the first couple of times they see it, and you got Mrs. Kunzman. So figure it out. Saying that you didn't understand is not an option. Okay, here we go. An unknown substance from planet X has a density of 10 grams per milliliter. It says right in the problem, you've got to identify two of the three things that it's given you. It's given you what? Look right here what it says. It has a density of 10 grams per milliliter. So density D equals 10 grams per milliliter. It occupies a volume of 80 milliliters. Volume equals 80 milliliters. What is the mass of this unknown substance? Mass equals, we don't know. Look at those triangles again at the top of that paper that you're at. You've got M, D, and V. Every single problem is going to give you 2, 1, 2, and it's going to ask you to solve for the third one. We're solving for mass here. So let me draw that triangle again and remind you how to use it. It's broken into 3 parts. Density equals mass divided by volume. In this particular scenario, we're solving for mass. So cover up that part of the triangle. You don't have to color it in. You can just cover it up with your finger. And you've got D times V. If they're beside each other, it's multiplication. If one is over top of the other one, it is division. M equals D times V. Substitute in your numbers. D is 10 grams per milliliter. Sorry, I forgot my L there. And V is 80 milliliters. 10 times 80 is 800. And I want to get this triangle out of the way. And now we're going to put our number over there, 800. And our unit for mass is what? You were supposed to know it. You memorized a foldable. The unit for mass, and if you look up here in your problem, what's the unit for mass in our problem? Grams. 800 grams. That's number 2. Number 3. A rectangular solid has a density of, so it gives us density of 56.7 grams per cubic centimeters. It measures 5 meters long, 2 meters high, and 4 meters wide. This one's a little tricky, but we can do it. What the heck does that mean? We've got a rectangular solid. We've got a cube. So length times width times height. Length times width times height gives us our volume. So 5 times 2 times 4 equals 5 times 2 is 10 times 4 is 40. So our volume equals 40 cubic centimeters. And if you don't know how to solve for volume like that, it's not a big deal. I just gave it to you. Volume is 40. And now it asks you, what is the mass again? What is the mass? Mass equals, I don't know. Use our triangle. Density equals mass divided by volume. We don't know mass, so we're going to color in the mass. We're going to cover it up with our finger. And what do we got? D times V. M equals D times V. We've got three things that we're found in our problem. We're going to cover up the one that we don't know, get our formula, substitute in the numbers. D is 56.7 times 40 is 2268. 2268. So our final answer, 22,068 what? We're doing mass here, right? So grams. Again, you can go back and watch these or ask for help or keep moving along. So a rock has a mass of, remember to do your three sections. A rock has a mass of, mass equals, and push pause at any time, 210 grams. A rock has a mass of 210 and occupies a volume of 70 cubic centimeters. V equals 70 cm cubed. What's the density? Density equals, I don't know. Density equals mass divided by volume. Use those triangles at the top of your paper. Substitute in the numbers. 210 grams divided by 70 cubic centimeters is 3. 3 what? We've got units right there. 3 what? 3 grams divided by cubic centimeters. 3 grams per cubic centimeter. You must know the unit for density. It is mass over volume. Last problem that I'm going to work for you is number 5. So here's number 5. A rock has a density of. So again, we're given density equals something. Density equals 4 grams per milliliter. Again, I apologize for my writing, but I can't lay my hand on the screen. It's messing up the writing for some reason. Mass equals 16 grams is given to us in our problem. That's the two that we're given. And what's the one that we need to solve for? What's the volume? Volume equals, I don't know. Put our volume equals in here. If we cover up the triangle, cover up that section of our triangle, and we get the formula. Density is mass over volume. If I cover this one up just with your finger, cover it up, what do you got? You got M. Please change to black for me. M divided by D. M divided by D. Substitute in those numbers. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And we're looking for volume here. Our unit for volume in this problem is milliliters. And that's it. So now you know how to solve for D. There's at least one example of solving for D, solving for M, and solving for V. This last one was how to solve for V. So there's some problems on the back. There's a challenge problem there for you awesome people. And again, Mrs. Kunson can help you out. When you're done with this, please do work on your Google Science Fair project. I've got some more to tell you about that, and I've worked on it some this weekend, and I'm excited to come in and see you and let you know what I found out. So again, best behavior and help each other out. Help Mrs. Kunzman out. Have a great day. I miss y'all. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.